So then those who are of faith are blessed with believing Abraham. May the Lord bless the reading of his word.
Good morning, happy Sabbath. I apologize. We had a little miscommunication there, and it was supposed to be Galatians 6, verse 9, but I'll get to that when we start the sermon. But God has so much that he wants to do for each one of us in our lives and in the lives of those around us. As I told the children, we're missionaries in Papua New Guinea, and this little map shows the outline of the country. Hopefully it's okay. Not as visible. I need to work on a different map that's a little more contrast. But we're deep in the jungle. It takes us about, let's see here, when we leave town going back to the bush, we get on a bus about 8 o'clock at night, and that bus drives a while, stops at a roadside market, goes again for a while, stops at another roadside market, and by 5 o'clock in the morning, we were at the river. And sun comes up about 5:30 to 6, and by 7, we're busily loading the canoe with all our supplies, all our drums of fuel, and then we start heading upriver, and we follow the bends of the river all the way across the map from one corner to almost the other corner. But anyway, it takes us about 10 hours on the river to get back to where we're working. And each of the places that has a star on the map is where a local branch Sabbath school or church is located. And this is zoomed in a little bit more. To any one of these places, I can probably get there within 4 to 6 hours by canoe from where we're living to any one of these places. But it is spread out. I haven't even been to all of them, I'll admit that. But the work has been going, but it needs some strengthening, as well as there's a lot more work that needs to be done.
Do you use a vehicle to get to these places?
The only one is up at the top at Alma. We can take a canoe to the riverbank, and there's a lumber company that's I don't have a laser pointer. I need to get one, but you can drive. We rode in, and I have a picture later, I think, but we rode in with a logging truck, dump truck, into Alma when we helped our teammates who are working directly in Alma. Our name is the Alma Project, and that was our goal to get there. When we arrived in the field, there was no way to easily, well, not even easily, but there was no real practical way for us to live in the bush among the people of Alma, because there was no way to get there. And so we were at another location. We've built a house there, and that's where we're at now. We're not wanting to build another house, abandon the house that just got built. But so we're working among the Alma and we're supporting the work in Alma and working among other tribal groups. Papua New Guinea has about 500 or 600, it's hard to know exactly. The statistics talk about the entire island of Papua New Guinea, of New Guinea, which is broken into two parts of two countries. Part belongs to Indonesia, and part is Papua New Guinea. And on the whole island, there's between 800 and 900 languages. And these are not just variations of the same language, but separate, distinct languages and even different language families. So it's very ethnically diverse, different cultures and things. I think there's 5 languages that I can get to, from 5 or 6 from where I'm at within a day, easily, that we're working among. And so what I focused on is learning Pidgin English, which is the trade language that's used in a large portion of the country. Being a trade language, it doesn't express philosophical and theological abstract thoughts as well. It's more just designed for concrete things. So if I say, I love you, I can say, in New Guinea thought, it's not your heart that's the seat of feeling, it's your stomach. So I can say my stomach is full of you. Or I can say, I like you too much. Bell, blew me pull up one time you. My stomach is full of you, my belly is full of you. Me liking you too much is I like you too much.
Our people, so around the Ama village is a mountain people, and they're also river people. And the
No, the Ama are not also river people.
correct, the Ama tribe is a ground-based people, and most of our work has been on the river system with the river-based people. So you're asking about a vehicle. This young man is demonstrating his ability to operate the standard vehicle for everyone.
In our area.
Yeah, in our area. You learn to stand up in a canoe as early as you learn to stand up on solid ground. And the canoe can wobble. Even if you almost knock them over, they'll straighten back up when they're that little. So it's been really fun for me to become more connected to the people in their river system transport.
A little bit more about the people and how they live. Their diet consists of mainly fish that they catch in the river. Again, where we're at. The Ama themselves have a slightly different series of foods that is available to them. But where we are, they eat the fish and then they chop down palm trees from the sago palm. They plant them. They take about 40 years to grow. So you plant all your life, you're planting food that your children are going to eat, or grandchildren for the most part. I mean, once you're old enough, I guess, you can start planting and still maybe eat some of the same food that you plant later on in life. But so they chop the tree down, chop the inside of the tree up into like mulch. And then here, Karen is taking a turn rinsing the mulch. And you rinse it and the starch comes out of it. And you throw away the mulch. But they're keeping the mulch as well in the canoe behind her. And that's going to be taken and added as organic matter to the garden. But the starch and water runs down into another canoe, usually, how they collect it. And the one end of the canoe is a little lower than the top end. And so the water will run out slowly because it's not tipped very steeply. And the starch has a chance to settle to the bottom. And then they collect that starch. And you get delightful, sort of, shall we say, swamp-flavored gummy bears without any sugar. They might add a little lemon to it to give it some flavor. At least where we're at, it's not the custom like where Karen was a student missionary, where one of their delicacies was mosquito sago. I'm not sure whether it was the larva or the full-grown mosquitoes that were somehow caught and added to the sago, but that was a delicacy there.
This one is fish and sago. There's fish in the picture. That is one of their staple foods, like Orion said, is fish. And when we were on our way downriver to come here for furlough, I traded my bag of banana muffins for fish and sago with one of the people in our canoe. And I ate as much as I wanted, which was less than half of what's in the picture here, and then I gave it back so they could finish it, because you don't waste food. I ate as much as I wanted, I gave it to her, and she was happy to finish my food.
So the leaves of the sago palm are also used for thatching their roofs. And so this lady is making up a shingle made up of layers of between 5 and 8 layers of leaves that are each individually pinned in place and stacked, and then they put these shingles and lash them to a framework on the roof, and as long as it's thick enough, it'll shed all the water and won't leak. If you want a short house, a house that to last a short time, you only put 5 leaves per layer, then it gets doubled over. If you want it to last a longer time, a couple more years, you do 8 layers, and then the termites have more food to eat, so it lasts longer. Last March into April, we had what was called Papua New Guinea for Christ, or PNG for Christ. It was lots of speakers from even the General Conference president came over to Papua New Guinea and did a countrywide evangelistic push. And I translated all the slides into Pidgin English, which took a lot of time because the slides were locked, so I had to put colored text boxes on top of the pictures that were there and redesign it. But I wanted them to be able to, those who could read, I wanted them to be able to read in their own language what I was telling them, not read it in English and then translate it on the fly to them, and they have to just take my word that that's what it means. So we had quite a bit of people in attendance. We helped, we sent canoes to help bring people from the farther away churches. And by the second Sabbath, we had 43 people that were baptized, and we had over 700 people in attendance.
And here is one of the challenges in Papua New Guinea is that it requires an ordained pastor to do the baptizing. That's the way the mission works.